Hello guys, how are you? Hope you all are doing great. This is VKM. Welcome to Electron Chemistry Center, guys. As you know, since long time we are discussing alloalkanes, alloarenes chapter. Almost 9 lectures done. In the last lecture, we had discussed about a concept called as optical activity. We have done. Under optical activity, we have learnt about few terms like chiral carbon or asymmetric carbon, as well as enantiomers, diastereomers, racemic mixture, external compensation. These are the topics what we have done, guys. See, racemic mixture is optically inactive, as I told you. Why racemic mixture is optically inactive in the sense? Because optical rotation caused by one isomer gets cancelled by the another isomer, hence racemic mixture is optically inactive, guys. Right? Similarly, enantiomers are mirror images to each other but non-superimposable. One image is non-superimposable on the another image, and those mirror images are non-superimposable are called as enantiomers. That topic also done. Enantiomers like D form, L form, right? Racemic mixture also we have done. Chiral carbon also we have done. Right, guys? These are the topics we have covered. But as you know, any compound, if it wants to exhibit optical isomerism, it should rotate the plane polarized light, that is PPL, either to the right side or to the left side. If it rotate PPL to right side, it is called dextroisomer. If it rotate the PPL to the left side, it is nothing but you know levo isomer. Dextro and levo part also we had discussed. Hope those topics are clear, guys. Now we are going to give a absolute configuration. We are going to give the absolute configuration for the chiral molecules. Guys, if any chiral molecule is there, and that chiral molecule configuration can be given by two ways. One is absolute configuration. And the second one is relative configuration. Guys. These are the two types of configurations. Absolute configuration in the sense RS configuration, guys. Absolute configuration in the sense RS configuration. Relative configuration in the sense DL configuration. Capital letter D and capital letter L. DL configuration. Hope you observe the difference there. This is RS and another one is DL configuration. Relative in the sense in comparison to another compound. So for relative configuration, we will take 3 carbon carbohydrate, that is nothing but glyceraldehyde. What will take it, guys? Glyceraldehyde. Glyceraldehyde, 3 carbon carbohydrate, it is carbon, right, connected with H, OH, CHO, CH2OH, right, and this carbon is chiral carbon. So for chiral carbon containing compounds, we can give the configurations absolute as well as relative. Now if you take another isomer, that is mirror image of it, HOH, and it is CHO, CH2OH, and it is the chiral carbon. So glyceraldehyde is the reference compound to give the relative configuration. In glyceraldehyde, OH group is on the right hand side. That's why this glyceraldehyde is called as D-glyceraldehyde. OH group is on the left hand side. It is called as L-glyceraldehyde. This is called as L-glyceraldehyde, guys. One is D form and another one is L form. So not only glyceraldehyde, if any molecules which are having a similar structure as that of glyceraldehyde, is possible in carbohydrates. In carbohydrates, we will apply D and L configuration. D-glyceraldehyde, when it is possible, whenever OH group is on the right hand side, then it is D. When OH group is on the left hand side, then it is a L, guys. Hope you understand the point, guys. But this type of configuration, guys, it is called as a relative configuration. But now in today's lecture, we are going to talk about absolute configuration, which can be given by the help of RS configuration. In few books, they may give you RS nomenclature. They give you RS nomenclature. That part 1 we are going to talk about it, guys, right? How do you going to give this RS configuration or RS nomenclature, guys? In another way, you can say it is nothing but naming. Naming of which compound, guys? Chiral compound or optical isomers. We are going to name the chiral compound, guys. We are going to name the chiral compound with the help of which configuration, guys? R and S configuration to the chiral center. And this R and S configuration or R and S nomenclature can be, given with the help of CIP rules. What are the rules to be followed, guys? CIP rules need to be followed. In another way, simply CIP rules, where C stands for can, I stands for Ingold, P stands for Prelog. These were the three scientists. They have proposed a system of nomenclature that is called R and S for optical isomers. So based on their name, we are calling those rules as CIP rules. We are calling those rules are called as CIP rules, right? Here, as you know, guys, chiral carbon is having 4 groups, and those 4 groups are arranged in a sequence in the decreasing order of their priorities. In the decreasing order of their priorities, let's talk about those priorities now. How to give the priority? How to give the priority? First of all, guys, priority should be given based on the atomic number. Based on the atomic number. Rule number 1, we are going to talk about it. Priority will be assigned based on the atomic number, right? So based on the priority, once if you give the priority, and based on that priority, we can assign the configuration to a particular isomer. Hope you understand. But how do you give that priority? Based on the atomic number. Here if you see, this carbon is attached to 4 different groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this carbon is called as a chiral carbon. That carbon is called as a chiral carbon. Now the order of the priority, how can you give it? Order of the priority in the sense 1, 2, 3, 4, you have to give it. The one which is having highest atomic number, the one which is having highest atomic number will have the lowest priority. The one which is having highest atomic number, the one which is having highest atomic number. What is the chlorine atomic number? 17. And carbon attaches to O, oxygen. Oxygen atomic number is 8. Carbon is attached to nitrogen. Nitrogen atomic number is 7. Carbon is directly connected to carbon in methyl. So carbon atomic number is 6. Right? Guys, the one which is having highest atomic number. Which is having highest atomic number, guys? Chlorine is having highest atomic number. Z stands for atomic number. Highest atomic number atom or group will get the lowest priority. Lowest priority in the sense 1. Starts from 1. Hope you understand. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So chlorine we can give it as first priority. Next OH can be given as second priority. And then next priority goes to nitrogen, that is third priority. And carbon gives as a fourth priority. Hope you understand the point, guys. First you have to decide the priority based on the atomic number. That priority, okay, we have given it. That priority we have given it. And then, so if you observe that with the help of an example, that example we have given. So now the atom with the lowest atomic number is given as a lowest priority they have given. The atom with actually highest atomic number will get the lowest priority, not the lowest atomic number. The atom with the highest atomic number will get the least priority. Means first priority. Understood the point? When a priority cannot be assigned, on the basis of the atomic number of the atom that is directly attached to the chiral center, then the next set of atoms in the unassigned group is examined. The process is continued till decision is made. Sometimes what will happen? Sometimes, this priority cannot be settled at the first atom. Sometimes priority cannot be settled at the first atom. In such cases, we have to go for the next set of the atoms, guys, right? Next set of atoms you have to examine it, then followed by the process is continued till the decision is made. The process is continued till the decision is made. So now if you observe it, right, according to that SIP rules, we are talking about the rule number 1 only. According to SIP rule, okay, we are talking about the rule number 1 only. The same example if you observe it, right? So here groups are totally, all the groups are different. So first priority will be given to the iodine. Why? Because iodine will have highest atomic number. Iodine will have highest atomic number, so least priority 1. First priority or least priority, both are same only, right? And next atomic number bromine, so second. Next chlorine, next fluorine. So priorities are assigned. First of all, we need to assign the priorities. How do you assign the priorities? Priorities can be assigned based on the atomic number. The atom which is having highest atomic number will get the lowest priority and first priority. The same rule I am repeating it for better understanding, right? And then now you have to check that how it is moving, like 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So you have to give it from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. You have to see the direction. Now if the direction, observe it, I to BR means 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. This direction is in clockwise direction. For suppose after assigning the priorities, if you are moving from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and if this direction is in clockwise, then the configuration is given as R. For suppose while you are after assigning the priority, when you are moving from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and if it is in anti-clockwise direction, then that form is nothing but S form. Guys. Hope you understand the point, right? So S form, okay, they have given it very clearly. So we are writing the mirror image, guys. If you write the mirror image here, this vertical part is same. Cl comes over here, I comes over here. Now assign the priority. Iodine gets the first priority. Bromine gets the second priority, next chlorine, next fluorine. But if you give it, it is in the anti-clockwise direction. ACW. But it is in the clockwise direction, that is CW. For suppose if that direction is anti-clockwise, then isomer is S form or S isomer, and the previous one is called as R isomer or R form. Hope you understand, guys. Is it clear? So far we have discussed only about rule number 1. Guys. Now for suppose if you observe it, if two atoms directly attached to the chiral center are same, okay, two atoms which are attached to the chiral center are same, and the correct sequence is found by comparing the sum of atomic numbers of the next set of atoms attached to those atoms. Means if priority is not settled at the first atom, then you should go for the second atom. Right, guys? And if you observe that with the help of an example, see here carbon is chiral carbon. So there is no problem with H, there is no problem with oxygen, but here carbon is connected to carbon here also, and carbon is connected to here also carbon. In this case, okay, problem arises, right? Why? Because in both these groups carbon connected to the carbon only. Obviously, how can we give the priority? Why? Because both the atomic numbers are 6 only, no? In such cases, we cannot assign the priority. So priority has not been settled at the first atom, then go for the second atom. Did you understand the point, guys? So go for the second atom. So here two groups are there. One group is CH2OH, another group is CH2Cl. Right? One group is CH2Cl, another group is CH2OH. Okay, observe my writing. My writing. Not which is on the slide. Observe my writing carefully. So CH2Cl and here CH2OH and here OH. So obviously when you are deciding the first priority, here carbon carbon, but here oxygen. So first priority goes to oxygen. Why? Because highest atomic number is oxygen, right? Now while you are deciding the second priority while you are deciding, here also carbon, here also carbon. Now expand it, that carbon connected to H, Cl and connected to carbon. Yes or no? Similarly, that carbon at down, if you observe it, I am writing here, that carbon is connected to CH2OH, HOH, right? So we are going to decide the priority. So I am giving that chiral carbon indication, carefully observe it. I am giving that a chiral carbon indication. This is the chiral carbon, and here it is the chiral carbon. With black color I have given, observed it? With black color I have given it, okay? That is the chiral carbon. So as you know, here there is no settlement of the priority. Now what is the next atom? Chlorine. What is the next atom here? Oxygen. So which is having highest atomic number? Chlorine. Obviously second priority goes to chlorine, and third priority goes to OH, that is O, and fourth priority goes to this hydrogen, right? So now if you observe it guys, the one which is having highest atomic number will get the lowest priority, right? Will get the lowest priority. So if you observe it here, it is 1, 2, and it is third priority, it is fourth priority. Hope you understand the point guys. Is it clear for you? Right? Means CH2OH gets the next priority to the CH2Cl, because here chlorine is having highest atomic number. Highest atomic number will get the least priority. Highest atomic number will get the least priority. They have given wrong, that's why I told you not observe there. I did not change it. Okay, don't worry. So this is the priority. So obviously you have to move from direction from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. 3 to 4. So obviously it is in which direction guys? It is in anti-clockwise direction. So the configuration can be given as S. Configuration can be given as S guys. Hope you understand this point. Is it clear for you or not? Order of priority, I have told you OH, CH2Cl, CH2OH. So atomic numbers also they have mentioned it. So here atomic number of carbon only they took it. Here carbon, here the hydrogen. So in this case priority is not settled. Then go for chlorine here, then go for oxygen. Right? So in that case that configuration can be given as S. Hope you understand this point. If you understand it, okay, say S. Is it clear for you guys? Next, RS configuration and nomenclature part 2. Right? So for two rules we have discussed. We have discussed with the two rules. Now rule number 3. Rule number 3. For suppose in an atom, if an atom in the group is attached to a multiple bond in the sense it may be a double bond or triple bond. More than one bond is called as multiple bond. Then it is considered to be duplicated or triplicated. Duplicated or triplicated in the sense, for suppose if double bond is there, means here carbon double bond O is there. Did you observe it? This double bond is equal to two single bonds. One double bond is equal to two single bonds. One double bond is equal to two single bonds. One triple bond is equal to three single bonds. One triple bond is equal to three single bonds. So here one double bond is there. This double bond will be equal to two single bonds. 1, 2. Such a way you have to duplicate it. Means you have to write two oxygen atoms. Okay. Similarly, if you take this one, CH double bond CH I have taken. CH double bond CH, this double bond is equal to two single bonds. One single bond, second single bond. Observe it carefully. Understood? So double bond is duplicated, triple bond is triplicated. Double bond is duplicated in the sense one double bond is equal to two single bonds, one triple bond is equal to three single bonds. Now triple bond I told you which is equivalent to, right, three single bonds. It is 1, it is 2, it is 3. 3 nitrogens you have to write it. Understood the point guys? Whenever double bond is there, it should be written as two single bonds. Whenever triple bond is there, it should be written as three single bonds, right? One more example, C double bond C, if you observe it, it is equivalent to, here there is a double bond, it is equivalent to 2 single bonds. 1, 2, it is equivalent to 2 single bonds. Understood the point? So now in such cases, priority sequence, how you can determine? Consideration of the duplicated or triplicated structure in which there are phantom atoms, like which are divided into 2 or 3 atoms, no? Right? So if double bond is there, you'll be writing it as 2 single bonds and 2 atoms also you are writing. If triple bond is there, you are writing it as 3 single bonds and 3 atoms you are writing it. Okay. Now this is the example I am taking it. This example, if you observe it, same example we took it. This is a chiral carbon. This is one group H, second group OH, aldehyde, CH2OH, primary alcoholic group. Those are the two groups. But if you observe it here, CH2OH is there. How do you write CH2OH like this? But CHO, how do you write it? C double bond OH. This is the group they have given. CHO, this is the group. And here if you observe it, there is a double bond. C double bond O is there. Observe it here, it is a double bond. And that double bond, obviously, it is equivalent to 2 single bonds. COOO, COOH. Now it would be very easy to give the numbering. For suppose if you segregate it, sometimes priority cannot be settled at the one atom, no? Priority cannot be settled at the one atom. In such cases, right, we can segregate it. See how we can observe it. Carbon connected with H, connected with OH, CHO, CH2OH. Highest atomic number, lowest priority. Highest atomic number is 1. Second priority I want to give it. Here also carbon, here also carbon. Priority cannot be settled. Why priority cannot be settled? Why? Because both are having same atomic number. Then you'll go for the next atom. So if you go for the next atom, CH2OH, I am writing here, C connected with H, H, this is connected to carbon, or chiral carbon. Now OH. But here if you observe it, it is our chiral carbon. C connected with O. So next atom is O only. Here also O is there. Still priority is not settled. Then check next atom what is there, H. But here next atom what we have, O. That means next priority should be given to CHO, second priority, and it is third priority, it is fourth priority, can be given as 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So it is in anti-clockwise direction. It is in anti-clockwise direction. So that can be given it as a S form or S configuration. Guys, the one which is having highest atomic number will get the lowest priority. Understood the point? So the order of priority, if you observe it, after OH, you will get CHO. That is what I have explained now. CH2OH, and last priority is H. Last priority should be H. Okay. So the same thing, we have mentioned that CHO group is given higher priority than CH2OH group. This is because carbon atom in CHO group is attached to one hydrogen, but one oxygen atom and one phantom oxygen atom. Phantom means the same double bond atom is divided into two oxygens. Two oxygens. First oxygen is there, only one oxygen is there, but second oxygen is because of the double bond, right? So HOO, and the carbon atom in CH2 group is attached to hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. Only one oxygen atom is there, but here two oxygen atoms are there. So obviously first priority means second priority goes to CHO only. Understood the point, guys? Now if you observe the benzene ring, how can you give the priority? See, it is carbon, it is also carbon, it is carbon, it is carbon, it is carbon, and it is also carbon, right? So this carbon, for suppose if it is connected, and that also we have mentioned it over here. This is the way how you can give it. Okay. So carbon, carbon, you have to check it. So this is the priority order should be taken. Now rule number 4. Okay. Let's follow the rule number 4. As I mentioned it, priorities are given. All the priorities are given. For suppose once priorities are given, guys, once priorities are given, what is supposed to do? You have to give the, after giving the priorities, you have to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. In a direction if you go, then if that arrow runs in a clockwise direction, if that arrow runs in clockwise direction and the enantiomer is called as R, guys, in Latin terminology, R stands for rectus. Rectus means right side. That's why the name is R. Right? In Latin terminology, sinister means left. Sinister means left. So that's why we are giving it as S. So simply what you can say, R is nothing but rectus, guys. S is nothing but sinister. So sinister means left, rectus means right. It's a Latin terminology. So now you know the Latin also, right? So what is the Latin? When you want to say right, don't say okay right, instead of that say rectus. Rectus means right, Latin terminology. Sinister means left. Priority order should be given. Now if you check that rule number 4, that is under rule number 4 only, how we can give it, that R configuration, S configuration. So first priority, then to the second, then to the third, right? If it goes, then it is in clockwise direction. If it is in clockwise direction, the configuration is R. If it is in anti-clockwise direction, and that configuration is S, guys. Hope you understand. So generally the priority, if you observe it there, they have given it, this is the priority order based on the atomic numbers, based on the atomic number. So this is no need to remember it, as if you know the atomic number, there is no point of remembering it, but they have given it for as a int, right? As a note they have given it. If you know the atomic number, highest atomic number will get the lowest priority. Highest atomic number will get the lowest priority. Understood the point, guys? Right? Now, if you take an example, so this example everyone have to observe it carefully. This example you have to observe it carefully, guys. Guys, if you observe it, there is a chiral carbon. Chiral carbon means carbon which is having tetrahedral carbon. Carbon is tetrahedral, which is attached to 4 different groups. Attached to 4 different groups. I am considering 4 different groups with the help of these 4 pens. Pencil is also there. Don't say that, sir. Okay, you are saying only pen. Okay, pencil also there. Don't worry. So here 4 pens are there, including pencil. Now these 4 pens or pencils, whatever it may be, that considering it as groups, right? So my and it is carbon. You can see here my and is carbon. My and is carbon. Okay. So consider this and totally and as a plane. This is as a plane like this. It is as a plane. Okay. So guys, the groups which are away from the observer, I'll take little time for the better understanding. Okay, don't worry. The groups which are away from the observer always should be represented with dash lines. Okay, the group which are towards the observer always should be represented with verge. And this type of representation is called as verge dash representation. Verge dash representation. Verge dash representation in the sense, if any carbon or if any compound, if you want to represent stereochemically, okay, if you want to represent them stereochemically, then you have to follow verge dash representation. Understood the point, guys? So the one which are having normal lines, normal line in the sense, this is carbon connected with chlorine, carbon connected with hydrogen, these are on the plane of paper. These are on the plane of paper. These are on the plane of paper. I'll take this after some time. Means if you just assume this is the plane, my and is plane, right? So here Cl, here H down. Both these are on the plane only. Both these are on the plane. One group which you can observe it there, CH3 group, which is represented with verge, that is towards you. That is towards you. Right, out of the plane, right, towards you, towards the observer. You in the sense observer. One group is there OH. If you observe it there, OH, did you observe there? Once wait, this is OH, right? So this OH is away from the observer, means backside of my and, that you can't see, right? That you can't see. That is called away from the observer. Just assume. Visualization is very, very important for stereochemical models. Now what I mean to say, I am assuming this carbon as chiral carbon, right? So this is Cl, that you can see, right? This is H, both you can see, observe it, both are on the same plane, both are on the same plane. Another one, this is another one, that is towards the observer. That is towards the observer. Okay, where you can see here, towards the observer. Yes or no? Now this is pencil, which is totally different, that you can't see, away from the observer. Can you see the pencil there? Can you see the pencil? No, right? So these are the groups. This group is Cl. This group is Cl, black color cap. Okay, this blue color pen. This is H, and one is towards the observer. This black color pen, and this is pencil, which is away from the observer, that you can't see out. Means okay, behind the plane. That will be behind the plane. But as you know the priority, now observe the PPT. Observe the PPT there. As you know, the first priority obviously goes to, guys, first priority obviously goes to which atom? First priority obviously goes to which atom? Chlorine, highest atomic number, and next oxygen, and next carbon, next fourth, next four, guys. Understood the point, guys? So this is the first priority. One more priority which is at back side, that you can't see, behind the plane. Right? Now observer is here. Observer is here. Okay. That I, you can see, that I indicates, here the I part which indicates observer. I part indicates observer. He is observing from here. Is observing from here, then it is 1. And the next priority 2, back side. And next priority, if you observe it, 3. And the next priority is 4. Right? Next priority is 4 on the plane. Understood the point, guys? Try to visualize it. First priority, backside pencil, that you can't see. Second priority, and third priority is towards the observer, and fourth priority on the plane. Right? So that direction is in anti-clockwise direction. It is in anti-clockwise direction, right? Like this. Okay? So that configuration is called as S configuration. But slightly there is a change now. If you observe this diagram, I am just doing that mirror image. What I am doing it now? There is a mirror image. Obviously, mirror images are enantiomers. That you know, guys. Mirror images are enantiomers, guys. Right? So what I am doing it over there, slight change I am doing it. But still OH group is away from the observer only. Still OH group is away from the observer only. Right? But my view, okay, I am changing my view. That's all. I am changing my view. So what earlier observer is here. Now observer is here. Now observer is here. He is watching here. This is the chiral carbon. It is 1. It is 1. Understood the point? It is 1. Now observe. You can see that here is here. Second. Now this side. Third. This is third. And then 4. See. Earlier I said like this. Earlier, previous. Now this is in this way, clockwise. Now that configuration is called as R configuration. That configuration is called as R configuration. Hope you understand, guys. Right? So this is how to give the S and R configuration. See, observer is observing from here. Right? This configuration is S and this configuration is R, guys. A very important topic. Guys, this is not board topic. It's not there in board, it's competitive. It's competitive part. Right, guys? Observe it carefully. There is an example how to give the nomenclature. But earlier, we gave 2-chlorobutane. 2-chlorobutane in the sense CH3, CH, Cl, CH2, CH3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. IUPAC name. If I ask you to give it, immediately what you will say? 2-chlorobutane. But this carbon is chiral. Right? That chiral carbon is having, this is the chiral carbon. Connected with H and Cl. This is H and Cl. Connected with methyl. That is a methyl group. CH2, CH3. Together is called ethyl. That is, you can see here. Ethyl. First priority given to chlorine. Second priority C2H5. Third priority methyl. Fourth priority hydrogen. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Which direction it is? Clockwise. So which configuration? R. So what is the name can be given? R2-chlorobutane. Now you have to give the absolute configuration also. R2-chlorobutane. Now if you just check it, it is 1 and it is 2, just mirror images, 3, it is 4, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. This is anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction, in a sense, obviously what you will give it? S. S2-chlorobutane. Understood the point, guys? Is it clear for you? This is the way how to name a compound based on RS configuration. This is the way how to name a compound based on RS configuration, guys. Hope you all are waiting for this MCQs. Okay, let's see the MCQs part. Priority of RS configuration is assigned on basis of dash of the atom that is directly attached to an asymmetric carbon. Asymmetric carbon is nothing but chiral carbon, right? Obviously in RS configuration, priority can be given by the help of which one? Atomic number. By the help of atomic number. Only we will give the priority on the basis of mass number only in case of isotopes. Why? Because in case of isotopes are having same atomic number, but mass number is different. A means mass number, but mass number is different. In that case, the one which is having highest mass number should be taken. Okay. Very important question. Very important question. Right? Check it carefully. Here, how many chiral centers are there? 2 chiral centers are there. See, 2 chiral centers are there. How? I am writing Fischer projection. These type of projections are called Fischer projections. HOH, COOH, HOH, CH3. It is first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon. Okay. He is asking you to find it out. Second carbon is chiral center. Third carbon is also chiral center. At second carbon, what is the configuration? At third carbon, what is the configuration? Obviously, this is the carbon what we have, chiral. Connected to the O. Obviously, it is the first priority. Similarly, this carbon connected to the first priority. Least priority will be given to the highest atomic number. Now, this carbon connected to carbon. Check it. This carbon connected to carbon. And similarly, this carbon is connected to carbon. Okay. And priority will not be settled here. Priority will not be settled here. Okay, let's see the next atom. Here also, here carbon, here oxygen is there. Whole group you have to consider. Whole group at down. What I mean to say, H, C, COOH, OH, it is connected to a group CH, OH, CH3. This is whole group with respect to this carbon. Fourth group. So it is 1. But will it be second? Carbon connected to carbon. Priority cannot be settled. But COOH, how can you write it? C double bond OOH. Means how do you write it? C O O OH. Why? Because double bond is duplicated. 2 single bonds. So obviously 3 oxygens are there, but here only 1 oxygen. So priority given to 2, this one, and it is 3. This is 1, it is 2, and next this carbon down. 3 and this is 4. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Backside. Which direction? Check it. Which direction it is? ACW. Anti-clockwise. Right? So similarly, this carbon connected with OH first priority. And second priority should be given to this only. Why? Why it can be? Why? Because here also carbon, but this carbon connected to another carbon. Right? I am writing that. This is the carbon. Third carbon I am writing OH. It is CH3 connected with C, H, OH, COOH. First priority, no more doubt. Second priority, while you are checking, here also carbon, here also carbon. Priority is not settled. But next atom is oxygen. But here next atom is carbon. So second priority. third priority, right? Fourth priority. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Obviously get the answer now, right? Check it carefully. Now you can check it carefully. Why the configuration is different, right? So why the configuration is different in the sense you can check it here. H, that is 4, right? So it is also fourth priority. I am giving it is here 1, 2, 3, 4. What we got it here also at this carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. That is ACW. What we got it here? ACW. Here also what we got it? ACW. Why? Because it is 1, it is 2, it is 3, it is 4. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. So ACW in the sense it is 2s, it is 3s. Understood the point, guys? But the answer what they have given? 2R, 3R. Yes or no? So least priority group, there is a rule. Least priority group always should be away from the observer. Least priority group should be always away from the observer. Should be always away from the observer. Should be always away from the observer. So here what is the least priority group? H. In a Fisher projection, the group which is having least priority should be on always vertical line. Vertical line indicates the groups which are away from the observer, but it is present on the horizontal line, right? In such cases, S configuration, 2s becomes 2r, 3s becomes 3r. So which is the correct answer? 2r and 3r. Understood the point, guys? Always the least priority group should be away from the observer. Away from the observer in the sense vertical line, not on the horizontal line. If it is there on the horizontal line, then you have to change the configuration, S to R or R to S, vice versa. Understood the point, guys? Is it clear for you? Right. Next. Yeah. So far, these are the concepts what we have covered, right? Majorly, but R and S configuration, right? Just for understanding, they will never ask in board. Okay, it is useful concept for the competitive, but I am going to give some additional information here onwards, right? So far 10 lectures we have done. Out of those 10 lectures, 9 lectures are purely for your board. 9 lectures are purely for your board, and 9th means 10th lecture onwards. 10th lecture onwards, all those are for competitive. All those are for competitive. That may be IIT, NEET or CET, whichever the state CET, of course, right? That may be MSET, KSET, AP MSET, TS MSET, TNCET, whatever it may be. Okay, some additional information, 10th lecture onwards, except practice sessions. Practice sessions, okay, excluded. Practice sessions we'll also do it, right? But I'll also give the number. But so far up to 9 lectures, all those are board topics only. Understood the point? Now, so under alloalkanes, alloarenes, what is the extra topic we are going to discuss, right? So allied exchange reactions we have discussed. Hope you remember. Finkelstein reaction is an example of allied exchange reaction. Allied exchange reaction. Alkyl chloride and bromide react with sodium iodide in the presence of acetone to give alkyl iodide. That means this reaction is majorly useful for conversion of RBr and RCl into Ri with the help of NaI in the presence of dry acetone. This reaction is called as a Finkelstein reaction. Guys, Finkelstein reaction, stereospecific reaction. This is SN2 reaction, guys. Which reaction, guys? SN2 reaction, right? So SN2 reaction means stereochemically which product is preferable? Inversion product is preferable. What is this inversion product called as? Walden inversion. What is this inversion product called as? Walden inversion. Based on this topic, they used to ask so many competitive questions, guys. Especially for competitive examinations, this topic is very, very important. Understood the point, guys? Right? So Finkelstein reaction, if you observe it, alkyl chloride and alkyl bromide can be converted into alkyl iodide, and this is an example of SN2 reaction. SN2 reaction. Okay, and this reaction is given by primary secondary alkyl halides but not by tertiary alkyl halides, right? Whose beta carbon is either primary or secondary. Should be beta carbon should be either primary or secondary. If you observe it here, very simple example, right? Alpha, it is beta and it is also beta. Primary, secondary, fine, right? So if it is primary and it is secondary and it is primary, and this Cl is replaced by iodine. Simple substitution. Which substitution it is? SN2 substitution. SN2 substitution. If you check it here, Walden inversion product. I told you, Walden inversion in the sense it is Br. Should not write I here. Why? Because nucleophile attack is from the back side. Nucleophile attacks from the back side, completely Walden inversion takes place. So Finkelstein reaction always leads to the Walden inversion product. Always leads to the Walden inversion product. Understood the point, guys? Right? Is it clear for you? Everyone? Right? So if you observe it, this is a chiral, in a chiral carbon. If I give it in that way, they will ask a question like this: NaI in the presence of dry acetone. What is the product? We'll write it like this. Inversion, no? Product changes. Inversion means product changes. Hope you understand the point, guys. Is it clear? Yeah. Schwarz reaction. So Schwarz reaction also we have discussed in the board part. Yes. Alkyl halides, chlorides and bromides react with metallic fluorides such as AgF, SbF3, Hg2F2, antimony fluoride, mercury fluoride to give alkyl fluoride gas. This reaction is known as Schwarz reaction. Rx plus AgF giving rise to Rf plus AgF. You can use, instead of AgF you can use SbF3, you can use Hg2F2. Understood the point? So these reactions, okay, we haven't discussed in the board if you observe it. We are going to talk about next reaction, that is oxidation reactions. This oxidation reaction is useful for preparation of aldehydes and ketones. Preparation of aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes and ketones together are called as, guys, carbonyl compounds. Together are called as carbonyl compounds. Only primary and secondary alkyl halides undergo oxidation. Tertiary alkyl halide does not undergo oxidation because of its steric endurance, bulkiness. Because of the bulkiness, they will not undergo oxidation, guys. But primary alkyl halides gives aldehydes, whereas secondary alkyl halides gives ketones in this reaction. But what are the oxidizing agents can be used? Right? With dimethyl sulfoxide, DMSO we will say. DMSO means dimethyl sulfoxide. This dimethyl sulfoxide can be used as oxidizing agent, or else we can use hexamethylene tetramine. Hexamethylene tetramine also can be used as oxidizing agent followed by hydrolysis. Right? Guys, here if you observe it, the reactivity part, if you observe it, guys, reactivity part if you observe it, that reactivity depends upon the number of hydrogens present on alpha carbon. How many hydrogens are present on the alpha carbon? Right? So that reactivity will be decides, or reactivity will be explained based on the number of alpha hydrogens. If more the number of alpha hydrogens, more will be the reactivity. Means halogen is connected to alpha. Alpha has how many hydrogens? 2 hydrogens. Right? If I take secondary alkyl halide, it is alpha. Alpha carbon is how many hydrogens? Only 1 hydrogen. So primary alkyl halide is more reactive than secondary alkyl halide towards oxidation reaction. Now what will happen? It is a primary alkyl halide. It is a secondary alkyl halide. Undergoing oxidation with dimethyl sulfoxide or with hexamethylene tetramine followed by hydrolysis, it will give you aldehyde, RCHO. It will give you aldehyde. And here if you observe secondary alkyl halide, right? Secondary alkyl halide oxidizing with DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, and or with hexamethylene tetramine followed by hydrolysis, it will give RCOR by mistake, guys. It's a mistake. RCOR. RCOR in the sense it is nothing but ketone. What it will give, guys? Ketone it will give. Okay. So C6H5 CH2X it is nothing but benzyl halide. Benzyl halide, what will you get it, guys? C6H5 CH2. Benzaldehyde. Sorry. You will get benzaldehyde, guys. What will you get it, guys? Benzaldehyde. Right? So C6H5 CHO is nothing but benzaldehyde. C6H5 CHO is nothing but benzaldehyde. Benzyl halide is nothing but primary halide. It's a primary benzylic halide. So what you can say, primary alkyl halides will give aldehydes. Secondary alkyl halides will give ketones. Secondary alkyl halides will give ketones. Understood the point, guys? Is it clear for you? Right? Yeah. Oxidation of benzyl halides, I told you, by this hexamethylene tetramine, that is called as Somlet reaction, guys. Very important. Name it reaction. Somlet aldehyde synthesis. That is C6H5 CH2X with hexamethylene tetramine followed by hydrolysis in the presence of acid. It will give C6H5CHO benzaldehyde. This reaction is known as Somlet aldehyde synthesis. But oxidation of primary or secondary with DMSO, this is known as Swern oxidation, guys. What is this oxidation called as, guys? Swern oxidation, right? Both these are for competitive, not for the board. Okay. Another important reaction, as you know, Wurtz fatigue. This we have discussed it. Coupling reactions, Wurtz fatigue we have discussed. Fatigue we have discussed, right? Wurtz reaction we have discussed, as well as Frank-Land reaction also we have discussed. Hope you remember Frank-Land reaction. That is also similar to that of Wurtz reaction, but in the presence of zinc metal. In the presence of zinc metal, you can say. Okay. Next one, if you observe it, a very important competitive reaction, guys. This is Ullmann's reaction. What is that? Ullmann's reaction. Name is looking little weird, no? Right? Of course. Ullmann reaction, it is a coupling reaction. It is also an example of coupling reactions, but it requires, harsh conditions. Conditions are very harsh. Harsh conditions in the sense high temperature, high pressure is required. Simply, you can take 2 moles of aryl iodide with the help of copper. Copper can be used, or copper zinc alloy also can be used, right? 2 moles of aryl iodide with the help of copper, guys. With the help of copper, it will give AR plus CuI2 can be removed. AR is called as biphenyl, guys. AR is called as biphenyl. CuI2 is nothing but copper iodide. CuI2 is nothing but copper iodide, guys. Hope you understand the point, guys. Aryl iodides, when they undergo coupling reaction with copper or copper zinc alloy, okay, at around 230 degrees Celsius, almost okay, for 3 hours you have to carry out this reaction. It will give the biphenyl plus CuI2. In another way, this chloro and bromobenzenes, but iodine is more reactive than chlorine, of course. So chloro and bromo and iodobenzenes having R group at the ortho or at para position undergo coupling reaction in the presence of copper zinc alloy or copper, and this reaction should be carried out in a sealed tube. This reaction is known as Ullmann's reaction. That reaction is known as Ullmann's reaction. They gave here substituent, that is NO2 at para position, 2 moles, and you got, okay, biphenyl. Excuse me. This is said to be biphenyl. Okay, that is said to be biphenyl. 4,4 prime dinitrobiphenyls. Those are nothing but dinitrobiphenyl substituents. And instead of it, you can take R group also at ortho or para position. Alkyl group should be taken at ortho or para position, guys. Hope you understand the point. Now you will understand in a better way. Okay, let's see. Just wait. Right. I'll erase the ink. Hold on. Yep. So if we take an example, how the reaction actually takes place with the help of a simple mechanism. Here Cl, NO2. It's not perfect. Okay, position. Just wait. It's not looking so good. Right. This is perfect. Okay. I am taking okay Cl at ortho position, NO2 is there. Let us say you can take ortho at ortho or para with copper. What will happen? Addition product will be formed initially. CuCl, NO2 is at ortho position, and then treated with Cu. Once again another mole. It is NO2. This CuCl will be removed. You will get Cu. Now you will be taking another mole of okay 2-chloro-nitrobenzene, another mole we will be taking it, right? Now, so this part we have okay Cu and this Cl forms an addition product, NO2 Cu Cl, and we have NO2 at ortho, right? And then next what we have to do, CuCl should be removed. CuCl should be removed. And then you will get a biphenyl. See, a byproduct will be formed. This is NO2 and it is also NO2. CuCl has been removed. This is a biphenyl, substituted biphenyl of course. This is substituted biphenyl, guys. Hope you understand the point, right? This reaction is simply said to be Ullmann's reaction, guys. What is this reaction called as? Ullmann's reaction, right? So Ullmann's reaction is also a coupling reaction, right? So this is the lecture for today. Hope you understand, guys. All the points are clear. And so far in this lecture, if you just revise it, we have discussed about RS configuration is done, coupling, RS configuration nomenclature how we have given done, and then followed by examples also we have done. Some additional information I have given about Finkelstein reactions as well as coupling reactions also I have given it. Hope you understand the point, guys. Is it clear for you, right? So in the next lecture onwards, we will be giving a very important information about the competitive part also. Still competitive part is pending, right? That we will continue with the competitive part. Board part is totally done from haloalkanes, haloarenes chapter. Now based on these topics, whatever we have discussed so far, we will be solving the questions also in the forthcoming session. Hope you like the video. If you like the video, please click on the like button. If you have any doubts, please post it in the comment box. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. It's a boost up okay for me if you subscribe me and if you like that video, and it gives a more energy to make more and more videos, guys. Hope it is clear, guys. Until then, signing off. Take care. Bye bye. Good night to all of you. And thanks for your patient listening, right? So whenever if I upload the video, please observe the full video length lecture. Please listen the full video length lecture, then you will get a better clarity. Hope you understand, guys. Bye bye.